So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Can Yu-Gi-Oh! Even let me try that again.
Go ahead.
Can Yu-Gi-Oh! Even be fixed right now? I'm here with Top Deck TJ, and this is gonna be a really interesting topic to talk about. I'm on the fence because there's so many problems with Yu-Gi-Oh!
But at the same time, I think it's in the best state it's been currently.
You think it's in the best state it's been?
Well, looking back at older formats and stuff, I think it has definitely evolved way ahead than we ever thought it would be, and I think it's really, really good, but the problems are still there.
Okay, in what way do you think that it's evolved? Like, to be better?
So, we saw them introduce things like links to try to slow down the game, and then they finally gave us Master Rule 4.2, because I'm not calling it 5 ever.
It's not 5.
It's not 5, it's 4.2. Yeah. It's a revision. we can be real here.
So when links came out, you think that slowed down the game?
I think it slowed down the game just enough that, like, even with combo-based decks, like, it's still less of, like, you're more archetype based now. You're not so, like
mixing things.
Yeah,
because before links, Zodiacs were like, you just put Zodiacs in everything.
Yeah, it was like Cosmo and Zodiac was like the biggest. You put these together and that's it.
Cosmo? What you mean? Cosmo?
Cosmo was his own archetype.
Like, yeah, like in 2000.
But that's what I'm saying. Those would be like,
okay.
Leading up into links, these would be the only decks that were pretty much based around their archetype. Earlier archetypes still had like very, very low synergy with themselves.
Okay.
So I definitely think that links not only slowed down the game, but it introduced a lot of combo stuff and like, you know, it made it easier for players to be like, all right, I can go get just this.
I disagree. Yeah. I think links sped the game up. Okay. Links is the reason why we have so many problems to this day. And at first, links were good because there were no good generic links. I remember when Proxy Dragon came out. Proxy Dragon was like, yo, it requires just 2 monsters.
Yeah.
Then Land Fornicus,
right?
The one with the 2 arrows pointing down. Yep. We were like losing our minds over really, really
minuscule stuff.
Bad links at that time. I want to say I can pinpoint when links started to become really bad. Okay. It wasn't just Firewall Dragon. Nightmares.
Okay.
The nightmares are when links became ridiculously.
Yeah. I can agree with that because we had stuff like Nightmare Mermaid and like Ibali Corruptor and stuff that was like really controlling the game and would allow you to extra link.
It was when link monsters got utility because before link monsters are just like, oh, just play it with your cards and other stuff.
So with that argument, I guess we could make the same argument for like Synchros and Exceeds as well because they pretty much like Exceeds more than Synchros on like a very hard scale because we only got like Gotchi and like Leviathan.
Yeah, we got bad Exceeds like how we got bad Exceeds.
So
I agree.
So like I guess it would be attributed to that kind of thing, but I definitely think that the game has evolved enough to where like we feel like there's a lot of problems, but the problems that we see could easily be fixed.
I still gotta disagree with you there, and here's why. Because the core bases of synchros and links and even fusions are extremely hard to make. So let me give you an example. A synchro monster requires a tuner and a non-tuner.
Right.
An Exceed monster requires 2 monsters of the same level, which is a lot easier, but now it's still 2 monsters with the same level. A fusion monster requires certain materials.
Right.
And normally a card to fuse them into. So sometimes 3 cards, sometimes 2 cards. Links require any 2 monsters.
Yeah.
Like for the most part, all of the good links just say 2 effect monsters.
Okay.
It doesn't matter about their level, their type, their Hockley Fabric says 1 tuner, and it can be used with another tuner.
Yeah.
At least like it was stupid.
Yeah, I can see that. They're a little bit more generic than like most summoning mechanics that we have. I guess the bigger thing is like, so what would we want to fix and like how would we fix it?
I think that there's a good amount of problems with Yu-Gi-Oh! First of all, man, so like if we had a time machine, the time machine would be never invent pendulums and links. Like, just don't do it.
Like, so you don't think that we could invent links at all, even without pendulums?
I mean,
I don't think the pendulums really, coincide with them too well. But
well, links did slow down pendulum.
Yeah.
But like pendulum was a mistake. Pendulum was a walking mistake. Like everybody knows.
That's a hard
pendulum.
Agree, yeah.
Like links were created to stop pendulums. That just means that pendulums are a mistake. Right. There's no way around it.
Okay.
So if we had a time machine, hypothetically, you just go back and you
wouldn't create those.
Never makes those. Okay. You know what I mean? But we don't have that time machine.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
Yeah.
You have. Yeah. I feel like you got 1 to 2 options. You can ban all the problematic cards, which is going to be like a very long list.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that don't deserve to be on the forbidden list that are on the forbidden list.
That's true. They were the cards that facilitated the problem, or the problem.
Or you reset the card game, which is a whole nother thing. That's almost like banning everything. Or
that's kind of hard, yeah, because then you have to reintroduce new product. People have to buy that product again.
And that's not happening.
No, we're already 20 plus years into this game. Yeah. Not happening.
Yeah. The third option would be like just hand down a whole bunch of erratas. I think that's the best way.
Okay.
I think I think that's the only way.
Yeah.
Like some of the most busted Yu-Gi-Oh cards got erratas. Firewall Dragon, most recently Ancient Fairy Dragon just got an errata.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards need erratas.
Yeah, we've seen even like Red MD and stuff like that get erratas. Cards that were really, really broken back in the day.
Exactly.
I mean, then again, even with Dragon Link running around, Red MD would just be a problem. Being able to reset that. Yeah, but
you mean the old Red as Darkness?
Yeah. It would be a problem. But
I
that's
think that
why
would be pretty stupid.
cards like that do need.
Overall.
Yeah. But that's why cards like that definitely need an errata. But that also then comes to that's a lot of work and a lot of erratas, and that's something that they have to prepare for.
I mean, but that's an so Konami, like, it feels like Konami made this card game with no like future sight. Like they were just like,
it's Pokemon all over again. Pokemon wasn't supposed to get past Gen 2,
and that's the problem. Yep. But like, you should have known from the jump that Yu-Gi-Oh was successful out of the gate.
Yeah.
So like
the show and the manga.
Like you should. I'm not saying know everything in Yu-Gi-Oh, but making cards that don't say this effect can only be used once per turn was kind of dumb. Yeah. When you make cards that interact with those cards that allow you to use
Dark World.
Bro, and that's just, they still do it.
Yeah.
That's the dumb thing. They still do it. Like, why are you like? I should never in Yu-Gi-Oh ever see a card that does not say you can only gain the effect of said card once per turn. It should not.
And then be able to recycle it.
Bro, no Yu-Gi-Oh card should not say that. Yeah. Like, if it has an effect that's altering or that's somewhat, it should always say you can only use the effect once per turn. And that's like a big problem.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
A lot of times we go back to the Exceed format, to the Zexal Zoomer format, and we use those cards to like make ridiculously
broken decks. Yeah.
Bonfire Blossom will get banned one day. It doesn't say once per turn.
No.
It's
I don't think Global should have ever been the one that was hit. I definitely think it should have been the Lone Fire, but I think it was kind of the right choice too to hit the Global. Like that one was a tricky one.
Yeah. The next problem is like for some reason Konami keeps on making these archetypes that don't have interaction with Yu-Gi-Oh. What do you think about those?
So I think they're catering to the casuals because we see this on a lot of other games, right? So let's take like Fortnite for example. It's like hear me out. So they're constantly catering to the casuals because they also have a competitive side, and a lot of times you're hearing the competitive side like, yo, we don't like these stats of this guy, and this hasn't been nerfed, this needs to be taken out. But then the casual are like, this is so fun, I love grappling halfway across the map and then shooting a rocket launcher in my hand, like, you know, like dumb stuff, right? So I think Konami's really just trying to cater to the casuals, but it's really tough when we expect so much more from this stuff and don't receive that more, you know? Because like I would love to take this casual, I would love to take Melfi's to a real tournament, but ain't no way Melfi's is ever doing anything until they get more support. Like, stop it, don't look at me like that. I'm just grabbing a random deck that doesn't really do much right now.
Alright. No, I'm not saying.
You zoomer. But that's they gotta cater to that casual content, you know? Because like without the casuals, the game does not thrive.
But I wasn't talking about like making. We actually can talk about that right now. What I was speaking about was them making alternative win conditions, like emphasizing those alternative win conditions. Let's talk about that right now because I actually like it. Some Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes never get full play, like and they get shafted because some of them have so much potential.
Oh, 100%.
Like Melfi's have potential. Probably to be an annoying deck. I'm not even gonna cap.
No, yeah.
But they have potential, and Konami just, you know, and then I dislike that.
Yeah.
Because like, it's almost like in my head I'm like, why are you wasting ink?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna print these cards that are going to not work with themselves or be so restrictive they can't even be somewhat semi competitively viable.
Yep.
And I think Konami misses the mark on a lot of those strategies. It's kind of ridiculous.
Actually a perfect strategy for like that is Valence. Valence was so restrictive on the first release. They now are just now getting support in the next set that they will no longer be restricted. But they are a pendulum deck, so they didn't.
Yeah, they were nerfed from they
Yes,
They were behind
but
from the start.
It's still a very good example in the sense that they're restricted to themselves and are just now getting the support to be able to kind of free themselves up, you know? So yeah, I think in that sense it's really tough because like if you're locking yourself into something or you're just it doesn't interact well with other cards, like BBW is a good example. It has a lot of interaction with different generic cards, which has been the problem in Yu-Gi-Oh itself. But that's
Tri-Brigades are kind of dumb.
They are dumb.
Tri-Brigades.
But generic cards are a different topic entirely, right? So like decks like that do have a lot of interaction in Yu-Gi-Oh are great. Unfortunately, certain
think so?
I do. I just think sometimes the format outshines certain decks.
I think it depends on the interaction because at some point in time, Konami's gonna mess up and make some ridiculous
Busted
BBW,
deck.
you know, Beast Warrior, Link Beast, Link Monster, and Tri-Brigade's gonna be like, whoa, hey,
we're gonna abuse it.
Yeah. And it's almost like Konami, like, yo, you've been manufacturing cards for like 20 years.
You should know how to do this by now.
Actually, 26 years, right? Yep. 1996. You should have a good grip on how things are used. And some of the cards, which is really, really frustrating, is that they'll come out with a card and immediately the entire public looks at you like, so we're just gonna do this, right?
Yeah.
And they don't address it on the ban list. They don't do anything about it. They just kind of like, yo, you can do this,
right?
Like crazy.
So I guess that also brings the question: would we be okay with Konami doing things where they're just strictly to archetype based and don't make too many generic cards outside of like maybe spells and traps?
Yeah. Well, I feel that Konami's in a lose-lose situation. What I like to say, because I've been on the side of game making, I've been on the side of the production side.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to solve a problem without creating another one. There's no such thing. It's just no such thing. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that or don't believe that. They believe that there's some solvable problem, and then they'll always take a particular game or something that they like,
right?
And then they'll ignore what everybody else thinks about that particular thing or the problem.
Yeah.
Right? So, I just think that Konami should be a lot more careful with the cards that they bring out.
Okay.
Like, it's almost like you knew the statistics of tier limits
before it even happened.
Yeah, you had like 6 months to know the power of tier limits. You knew that they were good. Yeah. You knew that they were better than everything else in the set. And then, when we started to realize, yo, tier limits are balanced, we got Magnificent Mavens.
Right.
And it's like...
Now we have Ishizu and everything that makes it busted, with plus the Bestials, like, it just
becomes... without the Ishizu cards, this is probably a way better format.
A fair deck. Yeah.
I think it's a very fair deck.
Yeah.
It's like, it's stupid.
Right.
So it's like, Konami, you have access to data and statistics. Can you please use them more effectively? I'm pretty sure you're using them. Can you use them more effectively?
Right.
Because did you see their answers to the Forbidden List?
Yeah. They I think I sent it over to you.
Okay, you did? Let's go ahead and pull it up so we can talk about it.
Absolutely.
So let me see, because I like that they.
Pull it up here.
I like that they finally did something, but I don't. Their explanation seems like they're like 3 formats behind.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. So you're gonna go ahead and look it up. Oh, you found it.
I did.
Yeah. It's top tables updates, written feature matches, miscellaneous. Right here. This one.
Oh, yep.
So Konami made an article, and in this article it says a new forbidden list, forbidden and advanced limited list while took effect the 5th December 1st is currently in play for the Rise CS Remote Duel. Check out the big changes that were made that will affect this weekend's competition. First of all, mad shout out to Konami.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we wanted. This is what we've been complaining for so long.
Begging for this.
And it's not like they haven't done it before.
It's only been 10 years.
Yeah, so like it was Gladiator Beast Mastari. I remember they were talking about, we're not going to bring back Mastari because we think it's too powerful. Thank you for telling us. But it's been like 10 years since they've done this.
Yeah.
So let's go over and see what Konami is exactly thinking. We're going to reverse engineer this. Mystic Mind and Curious, the Lightsworn Dominion, have joined the Forbidden List. Curious is definitely way too late.
Yes. Mystic Mind is way too late too.
Mystic Mind actually balanced itself. That was the crazy thing.
No.
Mystic Mind, I believe so.
I think it was way too late because it balanced itself.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, I see that. It should have been banned
sooner.
Yeah, fine. But at this point in time, it was like, yo, this card's actually helpful. And they're like, nah, let's not. You know what I mean?
Now it becomes a utility card because everybody's prepared for it versus not being prepared for it and losing to it.
So they said Mystic Mine and Curious the Lightsworn Dominion have joined the Forbidden List. Mystic Mine had recently become a key card in competitive dueling. That's actually not true. Mystic Mine was seeing less play at the time.
Yeah.
Forcing many duelists to include cards in their deck to get it off the field or risk losing once Mystic Mine is played. Gee, I almost know some other cards you gotta play. Anyways, with Mystic Mine now forbidden, duelists no longer need to consider the possibility of this controversial field spell card stalling a duel for several consecutive turns. I do like that part. I like how they explained it. Yeah. I do agree that it did stall games for several consecutive turns. But which was crazy is that they had, I think, 3 premier events in a row where...
No, it was 5.
5 premier events?
Mystic Mine almost took 6 events.
And then the Forbidden List came out and Mystic Mine didn't get touched. And then you wait to another Forbidden List after
emergency Forbidden List at that.
Yeah,
their excuse was the holidays, but we could have got it in January for all we care.
You could have gave it to us. You could have given it to us December 1st.
Yeah.
You could have. You could have given it to us last
January 1st.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're notorious for giving us late Forbidden List, so this isn't
just
like
line up with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Curious the Lightsword Dominion was a popular card, especially among tier limit. That's the only time it was popular.
Yep.
Because it was adept at sending cards from the deck to the graveyard. Perhaps most importantly, being able to choose sending a card of your choosing to the graveyard if it's link summoned by sending highly impactful cards like Eradicator, Epidemic Virus, or Deck Devastate. Who played that? To the graveyard, duelists were able to return it with Nightmare Griffin and then annihilate their opponent's chances of winning. So my problem with this is they should have seen this from when they made Curious.
Yeah.
Curious is Lavable Chain.
Yes.
Lavable Chain has been on the Forbidden List for almost 10 years, and you give us a Link monster, which is easier to summon?
And that's the funny part is people want Lavable Chain off the list. Like, entirely, these cards should have been hit way sooner. Maybe never
Curious
even made.
Shouldn't have existed.
Never should have been made.
Curious should not have. Curious should have maybe said 3 Lightsworn monsters or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, Curious should not existed. I think universally when everyone read Curious, we were like, this card's more broken than Foolish Burial, and Foolish Burial is at 1.
Yeah.
This card's more dangerous than Lavable Chain, and Lavable Chain is banned.
Yeah.
Like it requires 3 monsters with different.
And what was the last card to be emergency banned as soon as it pretty much came out? Because the last one
Pepe format.
Was it Pepe format?
Format PAL format.
Okay. Because I know the last one that I remember and I was around for was 6 cents.
Ruler
format.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna put out a card, at least own up to it and just ban it immediately.
Like, oh my god. Well, the thing is, Curious wasn't seeing play at that point in time, but you could literally just look at Curious and be like,
you're gonna be busted.
This is not a good, this is not a balanced Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, by the time they banned Curious, nobody was playing.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah.
What do you do?
Well, because we all got past that whole Slifer and
Everybody got past all of that. Nobody was a little late to the punch. Now, newly limited, tier lists have been dominating the advanced format of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. So you've acknowledged it.
Yes.
You've acknowledged that tier limits have been dominating, not winning.
Dominating.
Dominating. There's a difference, right?
Yep.
Since the release of Magnificent Mavens. So they can pinpoint exactly when it was dominating. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And fairy type of Shizu cards. Those decks typically use 3 copies of Herald of Orange Light.
So now they not only hit tier elements, but this also hits Naturia, who play the Shizu, and any other Earth Fairy decks that play Shizu, because now they can't play things like Herald of Orange Light in order to interact with the tier elements players.
No, you're not even seeing it.
Tier elements get to stop the other opponents and Shizu cards, and it's just
TJ, this is the equivalent of saying, yo, your dog is dangerous. I'm gonna take your shoes. Therefore, you can't walk your dog.
I get that point. I'm just saying it also makes other decks that would be playing this card inviable to one deck that is like...
It's the exact comparison. It makes that if you wanted to use your shoes to go drive somewhere or be somewhere... No. I took these pair of shoes. You're not going to be able to wear them. Just wear a different pair of shoes. That's exactly what Tier Limit did. That's why it's... So, but then my biggest thing... I 100% agree and understand that it took away so much from other decks.
Yeah.
But... you realize that tier limits have been dominating 6 Magnificent Mavens. And it's because of the Fairy and Shizu cards. So instead of hitting tier limits or the Fairy and Shizu cards, You hit Herald of Orange Light.
I mean, this is something we're used to. They hit around the problem. Around it.
What the actual...
Around.
What in the actual... Can somebody make sense for this? Can somebody make sense for me for this?
We've been trying to make sense of this for 20 years.
Please, can please someone make sense of this? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Newly semi-limited. Lyralesque Recital Starling was previously limited, now has been bumped up to 2 copies per deck, effective December 1st. Strategy hasn't been recently popular in competitive dueling, so this may give them the much needed boost.
I don't think it's going to do that exactly, but...
I thought it gave them a much needed boost.
And then what?
And then I realized that we're in 2022, not 2020.
Bingo.
So...
It definitely gives the deck a lot more to do, but it's not going to change anything in the format. It's not huge.
It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything.
And then we have cards from the removed and the forbidden list, such as like Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos that were supposed to make waves.
Oh,
and,
yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
A whopping 5 cards are removed. Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah.
A whopping 5 cards are removed from the bitten list effective December 1st. Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos were previously both limited to 1. Both these cards remain on the field after they're activated and vanish any card that would be sent to a Tearlament's Duelist graveyard. So as you can see, this is literally their answer, direct answer to Tearlament's is Macrocosmos Dimensional Fissure. Generally, this will completely shut down the Tearlament's Duelist play, since virtually all of the monsters in the Tearlament's deck need to be sent to the graveyard to use their most powerful effects.
So they're very aware of what stops Tearlaments, but they bring back the wrong cards in order to do so, because they probably could have just released better versions of these cards and allowed that to overtake the meta.
Nah, it's even worse, man. So I'm gonna get a little competitive, all right?
That's fine. That's fine.
Effective Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Building 101. Okay? You do not play cards that do not advance your strategy. Okay? If the card does not universally stop every deck in the room while you can play under it, or if the deck does not advance your strategy, you do not play it. Effectively, Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos do not do that. So they were already regulated to sideboard cards at best.
Yep.
We already have cards like Bestials. Why would you side in Dimensional Fissure when you can Bestial them? Like there's
Well, you can't Bestial in a Shizu card.
Oh my god, I can't. You know what? If I'm going second, I also can't Dimensional Fissure a Shizu card. So what are we getting at?
You could D-shift her.
D-shift. Oh my god, this is so bad. Like, Konami genuinely thinking that this would change the format. And you know what's crazy? And I hate to say it, because I feel like I get crucified almost every time I talk on Twitter about this. I told players that these cards are not good.
No.
And they are like, oh god,
Yep.
Right, you're gonna change. Bro, topping players have not even been using these cards. And because good players understand that these cards don't advance my strategy. Microcosmos is even like way worse. Not only is it a trap card, it can be stopped with Solemn Warning, it can be stopped with Rukalos, it can be stopped with so many other things. But not only does it not involve my strategy, it kind of takes away. But here's the thing. They said they banned Mystic Mind because players would have to play other cards in their deck to stop Mystic Mind.
So what a card's supposed to do?
No, hear me out.
Yeah.
And then they gave us cards that we would have to play in our deck in order to stop the deck that they said was dominating.
Okay. I see your point. You're not wrong there. You are not wrong.
Konami, look, I understand you mean well, and I praise you for making these statements, but
just get a little bit better. Just get some better. You have the deck list from events. You have the analytics from what topped. Like,
oh my god! And then your nerf the Tearlaments is. It reminds you of that meme where the person shoots the person in the face, is like, you know, like it's all confused. Like after he shoots them, like. shoot the hair on a orange light. I stop tear limits.
For the boomers, it's when you spin the bowl while you're pouring your milk, and then the cereal, you go backwards.
Oh, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So,
man.
The communication, I'll give them an A.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen it in 10 years. If they continue with this, perfect. Just get better with it. Grow with it.
But this might be the only one we'll get.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling the only reason why we got this is because the ban list was so bad. They had to explain it. Mm-hmm. Like they had to be like, yo, we dropped the ball. Let us try to do some explaining to make this better. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure and Constellar or Tellarknight, Potalamus and Metaverse actually do something. But
Metaverse might actually do something.
Metaverse is probably the best card.
100%. The fact that it can activate a Necro Valley and Zombie World or anything from the deck that can instantly utilize and halt your opponent is really big. But I definitely think that the rest of the cards are, I mean, they even brought Tenki back to 3, and it's like, oh, cool,
TJ, stop coming after me like this, dog. I had hope.
You had hope?
I had hope.
You had so much hope you thought Fire Fist were gonna be good?
Okay. All right, Thomas. All right.
Hey, it's not my fault. It's not my fault you can't access 4.
Alright, dog. Alright, Thomas. Hold on now. Okay. That's all I can say. Okay.
Even chat didn't remember. They don't know Technique getting back to 3.
Damn. I ain't gonna cap. When I did my forbidden list, I forgot Tiki was at 3. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this list has just been like nothing for us. Like,
yeah, this list has been
didn't change anything.
Out of all the lists that you've experienced in Yu-Gi-Oh, where would you put this? Well, just give it a ranking 1 through 10.
I'm trying to think of a worse deck to try to put it at like 3, 4, or 5, but I really can't.
I give it a 2.
You being nice, because I want to put it at a 1. I can't think of a worse list than it.
I can't think of a worse list in it, but okay, I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 because I do think that the Tellarknight thing was cool. It requires too many cards in your extra deck, but it's cool.
It also,
it's cool.
Like, you got to dedicate a lot of resources to it too.
It's like my biggest problem is that like they said, yo, we're banning Mystic Mind because you have to play cards to stop it, and then give you cards
to play
that in theory you have to play to
stop it. Like, yeah, it's the exact opposite. You could have just left Mystic Mind.
It didn't make sense. It did, and Mystic Mind would have actually been beneficial.
Yep. Yeah. Now I gotta summon my Majesty's Fiend.
Yeah.
I gotta summon Majesty's Fiend. Activate Messenger of Peace.
Oh man. Oh, okay. So, how would you fix the forbidden list?
Ooh. The obvious. Go for the problem cards, release all the non-problem cards, but that's a lot of in-depth of
how would you fix the format?
The format?
Yeah.
I'd probably limit all of these Shizu cards.
Okay.
I don't think they're ban-worthy, but I think limiting them would be good. Because if they're at 1, how much are you really gonna do? I don't think they'd be that game-changing, milling 10 and shuffling 6 cards back in total. So, probably do that. Then potentially. It sounds weird, but look at maybe semi-limiting Druid's Worm. It sounds weird. Druid's Worm is probably the best Bestial, and as it's searchable, I don't think that, like, no?
Serenir is the best Bestial. Serenir, easy. Bro, it's the best Bestial. It's the best Bestial.
If we on Hopium here, I'm gonna just say that Mini can come off the list.
Hey, it can. Anything can happen.
Without Hunter being here.
Yeah, it can.
Okay.
It can.
Just don't play into a tier on this player?
Yeah, bro, don't play. Don't think about, you think that shit's gonna work? Don't play. That's not gonna work. You're gonna get clapped up, dog.
I'm gonna get clapped up.
You're gonna go 0-8.
At least I'll be playing with my toys.
No. But Okay, so limit Druid Swarm, limit the...
Semi-limit Druid Swarm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there anything else?
And from today's meta, probably limit the kick halos early on, knowing that tier elements are a problem and not allowing them to utilize more than 2, especially with cards like Nightmare Unicorn coming out, which do check the tier elements like extra deck.
Catering
like that. Yeah. Catering Unicorn, checking stuff like that. So like with cards like that in the meta, probably just limit the kick halos.
Yeah, limit the kick halos would be huge. Yeah.
Wouldn't be too much because once you get rid of it, the deck is, it still plays, but it's not like, it's just, you can't get to Rulu Kalos unless you awkwardly still play the one, you know what I'm talking about, level 3 fusion super, I'm trying to think of his name. Chat, help
level
me out
3 fusion?
Help me. It's not a fusion, it's like used for material, it substitutes.
Oh, the King of the Swamp.
King of the Swamp.
Yeah.
So unless they
Damn, you gotta play that, yeah.
You would have to play King of the Swamp then, which makes you play not as better cards, but to utilize your deck. So I think doing stuff like that would easily like fix the ban list in the meta. Just because then you're kind of limiting the problematic cards.
I think you limit Kelbeck and Agito. I don't think the other two need to be limited.
You don't think so?
No.
I think the fact that I can go Medora after you try to Bistio one of my hero elements, and then I get my Paralino pop on top of it.
Are you really gonna play? How many copies of Medora in Kelbeck are you gonna play?
3 and 3.
You're gonna play 3 and 3? That's
3
fine.
and 3.
You can't consistently mill 5 to 10 cards off the top of the deck.
yes,
That's why I said
yes
only
and
one.
No. Yes and no, because you're forgetting cards like Tier Element Scream, Kick Halos,
I'm not clapping tier limits up. God, yo, what you thought? I'm not done. What do you thought this? You thought it was over right here?
Yes.
No. God no. Paralino to 1.
Okay.
Kick Halos to 1.
Okay.
Having this, no, I'm just I'm just here.
You're not having this.
I'm not having 80 of it. Okay. I'm not having this.
Okay.
But no, Paralino to 1. I think that's. I'm on the fence of Paralino to 1. I don't want to do it, but I genuinely think because if you take away the Ishizu cards, tier limits become a really powerful deck, but not overbearing.
They're fair.
Yeah, they become very fair. They become the tier 1 decks of last year. You know what I mean? Without being like ridiculous. So I would really want to take away the consistency of them being able to mill 10 cards off the top of their deck to their deck. I would probably go as far as probably considering banning Kelbeck and limiting Agito. I would go that far. Because it just makes the deck, it makes the Shizu version way too inconsistent to be able to play. I don't want to destroy it. I want to make it so inconsistent that if you choose to play those cards, then your deck's just going to be an inconsistent mess. So that's how I would look at it. And then Paralino to 1, because the card's probably ridiculous. You probably have to have this at 3. Paralino to 1 is like that has to happen. I would put Sprite Smashers to 1.
Really?
Well, because you can't just go around and hitting one deck and then
Sure I can. I'm Konami.
Sprite Smashers is I don't think it's a hit-worthy card in a regular sense, but if you hit something, you gotta like go around and just start
hitting.
You gotta hit all of the top of the top.
Okay.
And then Flunderee's probably like the map to 1 or something like that.
You'd put the map to 1?
Hell yeah, I put everything to 1.
You wouldn't put like the Ravina to 1?
I put Ravina to 0, the map to 1, the Eaglin to 0. You're gonna play Toucans in Street.
I already know what else you do. You'd ban the barrier statue.
Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, just do that. Just ban the barrier statue. Yeah, that's fine.
And then they become
just ban the barrier statue. Yeah, just ban the barrier statue. We're good. Okay. So I hit all 3 of those decks because consistently, statistically, those have been the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay. Like hands down, overbearing the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh. We'd also have to address Kashtira because
I don't think so.
I'm talking about when Photon Hypernova. Not right now.
I think we leave it for the 3 months and then check.
Nah, put Fear Order 1. Put Fear Order 1. Put Fear Order 1. I think that's all you need to do is just put Fear Order 1. Put Fear Order 1.
Nope.
See how it works.
Nope. You're not touching my favorite Kashtira.
Put Finra to 1.
You're not. I will fight you outside right now.
Finra isn't even like good enough to be at 1. It's the fact that it's so splashy.
I mean, yeah.
It's just so. Put Finra at 1. Just put it at 1.
It can go to 2.
The whole deck.
It can go to
the
2.
whole Kashtira deck post Photon Hypernova becomes a completely different deck if you put Finra at
2.
1.
2.
1. 2. Don't make me say 0.
Oh man.
Just ban Finra. Somebody's real mad. He big mad. He like, what I'm gonna search with Finra? I don't know, other Kashtira monsters. Like
Go ahead and search your unicorn or your ogre to summon
Fenrir
off of birth.
What's up?
I said just search your ogre unicorn, summon it off of birth, and then continue making plays. Like, it's cool, but we're not putting Fenrir to 1. We're not.
It's not like your Fenrir is gonna get banished face down by something.
Sir, I am still trying to play Kashtira Punk.
We
are not putting it to 1.
You gonna play Broke Tira. Broke Tira.
Broke Tira. Oh man.
Rupee Tira. Peso Tiras. Peso Tiras.
It's a real pace over here.
Oh.
Somebody said ban Fenrir?
Yeah, they're talking about ban Fenrir right now. I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if that's. I don't think a ban is necessary, and I don't think limiting Fenrir is like it's not. It's just because of the splashability of the decks, not because of Kashtira.
Do we also look at cards like Triple Tactics Talents and stuff like that then too?
I don't see a reason to. Triple Tactics Talent can either be the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh or one of the worst cards in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Absolutely.
And it all depends on how many times are you trying to play on my turn.
Yes.
If you let me play on my turn,
no,
then
our
Triple
turn.
Tactics. Okay, see, and that's why Triple Tactics needs to stay.
Welcome to our turn format.
Okay, yeah, that's why Triple Tactics needs to stay. Because our turn, that's annoying. I like to do my thing.
Okay.
It's not like I'm gonna end on like a Borreload Savage Dragon in a 5 other Omni-negates. It doesn't happen in Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. Matter of fact, while we're at it, ban Totally Awesome. Ban all Omni-negates. No. Totally Awesome is banned.
No.
Totally Awesome
you could ban the Totally Awesome. You're not hitting my Baron. I played too many decks.
I feel like Baron is fair.
Yes and no.
Yeah, like it's
not under a Sprite Elf.
Like Totally Awesome is only fair because it's so hard to summon. If Totally Awesome was generic, Totally Awesome is bad.
It is kind of generic in the sense it's still played in a lot of water decks strictly.
Of course, yeah.
But it's still generic in the sense that like even if you let's take Plunder for example. Plunder are level 4s, right?
Yeah.
Bahamut turn.
Yeah. But okay, here we.
I'm just adding more to your genericness.
Okay, yeah, allow me to make Totally Awesome the most busted card in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm only gonna change one thing. Make it a link. It is hands down bannable.
Yeah.
So that lets you know how Totally Awesome is a very ridiculous card.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous in the fact of once players figure out how to summon Totally Awesome in everything, it'll be played in everything.
Yeah.
And it is the last Omni-negation in Yu-Gi-Oh that's oppressive. I don't think there's. Baron is like
iffy.
It's only one negate while it's face up on the field.
But it does recycle itself.
It can recycle itself.
It can summon a Scythe from the graveyard for no reason.
Yeah, but Scythe is bad. I've been saying Scythe is bad.
But I'm just saying, like, you can summon cards that can be game impactful.
You can.
With it, so it really
it's
depends.
hard to make, though.
Absolutely.
It's hard to make. I feel like once Baron, well, let's do the same thing. Turn Baron into a Link monster.
Yeah.
You think it's still busted?
I think it becomes even more busted.
If it's like, it's 3,000 attacks, so it has to be like a Link 4.
Yeah.
I don't think it's busted.
I think it's busted.
I don't think it's busted.
I think it's busted because it doesn't remove itself from the field. It's an Omni-negate, and then it would recycle
But it's like
itself.
a Link 4. It would be like 3+ effect monsters. You really want to give up just 3+?
So just summon back a Link 3.
No, you can't. You have to use 3 monsters. So it has to be a Link 2 and
I understand.
two.
No, I understand, but you can still use like a Link 3 and stuff too.
You have to use Link 3
with
and
extra
then
monsters, but
3 other monsters though.
Yeah. So okay, I guess. But regardless, my point is you can summon back like basically half of the worth of materials.
What do you mean?
So you can still summon back.
Oh, okay. What you get back from?
Yeah.
It. But that's only if it survives.
If it survives, but I think it becomes more busted because then it's a link. It's not. You don't need a tuner.
It's easier to access.
Yeah.
But I don't. If it's a Link 4, I think
and you're
it's
also
so
not
balanced.
But you're also not level locked to making sure you have to get 10.
But it's still
more splashable then.
It's 3. At this point in time, it's kind of a worse Appaloosa.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's 3 monsters. I do agree. I think the attack stat is probably the biggest thing that'll be like.
I think if we keep the fact that it can recycle itself would make it the more busted part. If it was just a one negate and that's it, then yeah, you're good.
Okay, I know how to get you to come to my side. Let's say Baron still has the negate that it has, still has the shuffle, it has 1,000 attacks.
I think it's just terrible.
That's what I'm saying. It's the attack stat.
Well,
it's the 3,000 chunky boy.
Yeah, because then I'm gonna look at you and be like, summon Sheriff.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like Baron is like it's good because of its attack stat. Like that stat is kind of ridiculous.
Okay, that makes sense. So what other Omni-negates would we then look at potentially hitting?
I think that's it.
That's it, because I know, like, obviously the adventure package is super fair.
Oh, yeah, that's really fair.
Because you can hit the Water Enchantress, you can hit the Fateful, you can stop the Fateful Adventure Search. Like, there's so many opportunities to stop it before it gets to that.
I think Baron's pretty fair too. Baron feels like the same amount of work as the Water Enchantress package.
Almost, except less searching and being able to, like, I know Ash is bad, but like Ash Blossom and stuff like that.
Well, you need a tuner and then a non-tuner.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we're talking about yeah, it's 10. Like
Rarely
you need like a
ever
level
do you
6 or
have
a level 4 or a level 2 and a level 8.
Yeah, like,
and normally your 6s and higher, they're good cards.
Yep. A 7 and a 3, like it's just so hard.
Baron's fair in my opinion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The other, what was the other card you were just talking about?
It was just the totally awesome Wandering Griffin and the
Wandering Griffin is also fair.
Yeah, well, cause so much of the Fateful Adventure package is like, it's so easily hit.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to play like a 7-card engine too.
Yeah.
So that's fair, and you only get 1 negation.
Yeah, and you're playing a couple of bricks like the equip spell and stuff like that.
And it's easy to interact with Griffin.
Absolutely.
So and totally is not only a negation, but it's Mr. Studio Bish.
And it'll give stuff back to your hand.
It's
and it recycles itself.
Yeah,
it doesn't say except totally awesome. It says any aqua monster.
Toad should probably be banned. I agree. So I would probably hit Toad. Baron and the other one can stay. And I can't think of any other cards. I don't.
Any other Omni-negates that would be super powerful? I can't think.
Again, I can't think of any Omni-negates, but I do think that is another mistake that Konami did was make Omni-negations. That was not a smart idea.
I disagree, and hear me out. I think if the Omni-negations came with more of a cost, they would be balanced.
Fair.
It's something like Solemn Judgment. Half your life points to negate this card. If you're at 8,000 life points and you negate that, you're at 4K, and now you're in fear of losing, potentially.
Well, here's the problem. Solemn Judgment doesn't negate everything.
No, but...
It's not an Omni-negate.
Okay, but you get the point I'm making.
Fair.
Like, it still has a cost in order to be a huge negate.
Well, you know what? There is an Omni-negate, which I think is just complete trash. Warlord Savage.
Warlord Savage Dragon?
Yeah, doo-doo water.
Oh, yeah, because if the...
Doo-doo water.
Oh, yeah. Dog water. They go, target this link in the graveyard. DD Crow. Bestial.
Well, it's not even that. It's that... First of all, you gotta link first.
And then synchro summon.
Like, I gotta link first, and then I gotta synchro summon to this. That's not as easy as Dragon Link made it feel, okay?
Yeah.
Secondly, it doesn't destroy the card. Like, it only negates the effect. So it's like, yo, that card's still on the field. It can, like...
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Omni-negation should not destroy.
Okay, so basically like Appaloosa and Warlord Savage Dragon and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Baron should not destroy. It should just negate.
So should we say that for free Omni-negations are fine without a destruction? With a destruction, they should have a cost?
With the destruction, they should be really, really steep.
Yeah.
Really steep.
Yeah.
Like, Totally Awesome should have said, like, this card can only be Exceed summoned by using 3 Aqua Monsters or something like that.
Bahamut Shark still stumbles.
No. It can only be Exceed summoned.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, Totally Awesome should
must
be
Exceed summoned.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. So it should be something ridiculously hard.
And then it shouldn't be able to add itself back and recycle itself either as well, because that is also
I don't
stupid.
know, three Aqua Monsters. Well, maybe you're right.
It should not be able to send itself back to the extra deck on its own. You should be able to maybe Pot of Avarice it or something, not on its own.
Yeah, Ghost says, what do you think about Zeus? What do you think about? I think Zeus is one of the most fairest Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Fair.
Zeus has never been a ban-worthy card, man.
Not only do you have to attack with an Exceed monster, you have to make sure that you have.
An Exceed monster has to battle.
That's what I said. You have to.
You can attack into an Exceed monster.
Yeah. But either way, so you have to battle with an Exceed monster, then potentially still have enough materials on it to use its effect. If you don't use the Exceed materials from the current Exceed monster, you kind of, GG, because you can go down to Magician, Zeus, depending on the Exceed rank.
Zeus is hella fair because it gets rid of your board too.
Right.
You can only do it
once per turn.
Exceed monsters. You have to play enough Exceed monsters to supplement it. And it takes up a lot of extra deck space to get that, just to get 2 more.
And you have to have I was gonna say you have to have enough materials in order to activate it multiple times per turn. Otherwise, it's basically just a once per turn.
Yeah, Zeus is very fair. Let's go ahead and move into the lightning round though. So guys, if you guys subscribe, you can go ahead and ask a question. We do have questions in our Discord that we'll be asking, or that we'll be answering today, because they are on the Discord. Of course, if you guys want your questions on this podcast, go ahead and join the Discord. This is actually going to Top Deck TJ's YouTube channel, so be sure to check out Top Deck TJ. So, what is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetype?
My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetype? That's easy. Wind-ups, 100%. I will rave about wind-ups all day long. I love the archetype. And it was also one of the biggest like predominant decks in my life when I was growing up playing Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. And one of my first tops with too.
So who's the biggest whore? Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B?
Cardi B.
How? She's married, right?
Yeah.
She did make that WAP song.
And
okay, I'm Cardi B.
She also stripped. She basically drugged dudes. Like,
okay, I'm Cardi B without the drugging people. I'm not Bill Cosby in this thing. I'm not Bill Cosby in this thing. Okay, I ain't got no tight. Yo, I like so many Yu-Gi-Oh strategies. I like Fire Fist. I like Shadows.
Yeah.
What?
You like a lot.
I like a lot.
Yeah,
I like Dino.
But I think favorite for you is a very huge.
Yeah, favorite is hard. Favorite is really. I like Mech Knights.
Yeah.
I like Exo Stepsisters. I like Labyrinth Mummy. Like I like Sword Soul.
Yeah, we know why you like those.
Yeah, I ain't got no tight. Like that's I ain't got no. I like Yu-Gi-Oh. Overall, couldn't really give you one. What does it say? Jay says great SHIT. I don't know if you curse on your videos. Enjoy the content and videos. Appreciate you, dog.
Absolutely, and I do. I don't really care too much.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Just making sure.
I'm not even at that mark to make money yet, so I don't care about being demonetized.
That's fair. That's fair. Yellow Bomber says, what could Yu-Gi-Oh do better in order to make starting experience better for new players?
That's kind of hard because it's not like a video game where you can just have a tutorial, like essentially. Like
they do have a tutorial in the video game, right?
Well, I'm saying it like in the TCG. Like it's not. We're not a video game. When we go to locals, that's not a video game.
Okay, yeah.
So for the card game, there's not like an easy tutorial. It's kind of like you're reliant on your friends or a shop or even the internet at this point, right? I think they should really work on wording on cards because wording is such a huge issue in this game that it makes it tough for new players to come in and be like, oh, okay, this does this to this, and this is how the interaction works, because there's so much different punctuation and wording in this game.
Yu-Gi-Oh can definitely take a page out of Magic books when it comes to like cast, blah blah. I don't play Magic, so I don't really know the actual.
No, you're spot on.
Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh could take a page off of that book, but another way that they could make a better experience for newer players is to promote speed duels and other formats better. Speed duels actually does a really good job of teaching people how to get in the game.
Absolutely.
But speed duels, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably just gonna be. You're never probably gonna be profitable with speed duels.
It is such a simplified version.
Yeah. You gotta sink actual time and effort and money and energy. Like you gotta make like a speed duel tournament. Like actual separate YCS. You can make it a remote duel.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to actually do that.
I do see the potential there though.
Yeah,
they have the potential there because they even have tournament packs.
That in older formats. Yeah, like Edison format stuff.
They've already capitalized a lot on YCS and stuff.
No, I'm talking about the actual
I get you, but they made it side events. Altera did ask, what was your first tournament deck? Hero? Okay.
Hero B. I lost to Vincent in the finals.
Was he playing as Black Wings?
Yes, he was playing Black
Wings. Did he get a second?
No, he wasn't playing Black Wings. He was playing Teledat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was playing Teledat. I didn't tell you the story?
You probably have.
This weak ass. He trap raided me in game 1. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lee and Stefan helped him out on that.
Yeah.
He trap eatered me in game 1. I'm like, you don't play Trap Eater in the main board in game 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Heroes. Okay. What about yours?
For me, it was Black Wings actually.
Oh,
even though I was around for like Teledat and stuff like that, I was like a wee bit kid, so I wasn't like super competitive. By the time that like Black Wings, Heroes, Agents, all that stuff came out, I really came back to the game, and so I got really into Black Wings, and that was my first like tournament deck.
Okay.
Didn't do well at all. Scrubbed out. I was the king of X4 even then, and I am now.
So my first tournament, I got second place. Your first tournament, you did.
So you're the Jesse Cotton of our group?
You know that's almost that's I'll take that. That's a compliment.
You got trained to get second every single time.
Shut up, okay. Just a Normal says, how would you fix the pendulum mechanic?
Remove it. There's no solve to it. You just gotta remove it. Like, what else am I supposed to do?
Admit that it was a mistake.
Yep.
And then
say, we're very sorry, but all of these cards are now banned. You cannot utilize them. Sorry, your collection has demoralized, but here you go.
Take the L and move it.
Yeah, we fixed it. It's okay.
Personally, do what you did with Draco Slayer. Okay. Make the because people keep on saying pendulum this, and I always say this. People say pendulum this, pendulum this, pendulum. Pendulum's a fucking mechanic. Yeah. You don't see me running around with an XE deck. You don't say XE best deck, let's go. Like, you don't hear that. You don't hear synchro best deck, let's go. Right. Like, that's not a deck. It's a mechanic. Yeah. Turn them into actual strategies that can only work with one another. Yeah. You don't see me playing Blackwing Resonators. It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, but you see somebody playing Performapal, Odd Eyes, Magician with the Abyss actors, and you see that. Like, that's the big problem with Pendulum.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Okay. Jake the Protogen. You got something?
No, you're good.
Okay. I'm sorry. Doodle. Doodle says, would love to hear you guys' thoughts on what Doodle just talked about in general. We were thinking about within the next set or two, we'll just bubble into a 3-4 deck format between Sprite. What is Splite? I don't know Sprite. Cash tier and tier with a mixed a bit. I don't think that's a question.
So Splite was the OCG name for Sprite.
No. I'm trying to figure out the question.
Oh.
Are they asking
where we think the next set or two will bubble into 4? Yeah, what is the question, Doodle? Doodle, what's your question? Okay, I know you're in chat.
We'll skip over Doodle and then come back when he asks the question. Yeah. Do you think Konami is going to keep protecting tier on the ban list to sell the next set? Or do you think they'll actually address the problem? Well,
Konami's track record says otherwise.
Well, I like it. You guys may see I'm the Hopium King. I like to believe that Konami will be like, oh crap, we messed up on this forbidden list. Let's. No.
Wait. Let's go back to our earlier discussion here. They just put out a talk and discussion about their ban list, and it wasn't good. Okay, great.
Next question. Okay, so TJ's in reality. I'm taking the what is it, the blue pill in the Matrix?
Yeah. I took the red, you took the blue?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so what is the best way to go about deck building? I figured we'd get within an advice question at this point, instead of like an opinion, because we've done a couple of opinions at this point. So,
the best way to, it's too complicated to explain.
I got it for you.
Okay.
The best way to go about deck building, and you pretty much said it earlier yourself, other people have said this where I've pretty much taken it from, make sure that you're playing cards that all synergize with each other, because if you're not playing much of a synergy, you're just playing a lump of cards, and we're not playing the grass is greener anymore, so you don't need to play 60 cards. Like, you can play cards that actually work together, are very cohesive, and make sense. I mean, I'm not going to look at you and be like, why are you playing triple tactics in any deck? Like, it's not a named card, but it's cohesive. So basically, making sure that these cards work in conjunction together is your best way to go about deck building, because without it, you're, like I said, playing lump cards.
To piggyback on that, what I like to do with deck building to simplify it as much as possible is your card needs to be able to perform multiple functions. A lot of people, when they build Yu-Gi-Oh decks, they're like, oh, I'm playing this card because it works with this card. No. Your card needs to work with this card, then it also needs to be able to work independently, and then it needs to be able to work with other cards in the deck. So that's the simplest way to put it.
Doodle put their question. Doodle was just curious if you think the power creep would just balance out the top 4 decks with enough support in a couple sets, much like Drytron and Despia kind of power crept out of existence instead of it actually getting hit.
Okay. This is a 2-part question that I want to address. The first part is yes. I think that was 100% Konami's intention to make Cash Tier a Scareclaw, Tearlament, and
the other one. I can't remember.
I don't remember the other deck.
It wasn't that great.
Flunder Ace, I guess. Whatever the decks are, the next best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I do think that, but the second thing you said, much like how Drytron and Despia power crept, they were never the best decks.
I think at one point Despia was, but it was too far into the format to say that it was the best deck.
Nah, Sword Soul was still clapping cheeks.
Sword Soul was still clapping cheeks, but I think okay, so I guess they went hand in hand then. But yeah, but at the same time, like Drytron did end up getting like some hits and stuff like that here and there.
Yeah, Drytron didn't get. I don't feel that Drytron got hit because it was the best deck. I felt that Drytron got hit because it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, there's some things that Konami should hit, like, I don't know, the Shizu cards, that just make strategies ridiculous. You know what I mean? And that was one of them. I think that they did a really good job with that. Yeah. But I don't think that there was ever a point where Drytron and Despia were undisputably the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh. They were really good, but not like, oh my god, you must play it or lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You got a question?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up one really quick. Mr. Cali Effect in the meme Who was he saying? Oh, my guy King Tom, Mr. Cali affecting the meme hunters. I like that. What would you say is the hardest thing about being a Yu-Gi tuber? What advice would you give to someone looking to start or interested in covering? I can use that question for not only people that know listening, but also you.
Yeah.
So Yu-Gi-Oh is a job. A lot of people think that, oh, you know, I get to like play Yu-Gi-Oh for about 3 hours and beat whatever. No. Yu-Gi-Oh is a job. When you take on Yu-Gi-Oh, you take on a whole nother responsibility. Yep. It is your job to educate, to entertain, and to preserve the integrity of the card game. Yeah. So with every video you make, you need to understand that A, you got to check out for stuff what people want to see, but B, you need to uphold the integrity of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Yeah. And it's not easy. It's not a fun task, but it is rewarding. Right. So that's what I can say. What you got?
So Tomias did ask. Tomias was like, "What cards did you use? What cards did you use in your best childhood / playground combo? And if applicable, do they somehow see meta relevance today?"
Oh, of course. Draining Shield definitely sees meta relevance. Draining Shield and Magic Cylinders? My friend.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
You've never been Magic Cylinders?
Oh my god. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick tidbit. So when I was growing up and I was going to Game World, I had just met Callie, and like, you know, I was getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh. My dad was also playing Yu-Gi-Oh at this time, and he was playing Heroes, and he thought that one of the best cards to play was Magic Cylinder.
It was. It is. It's a game changer.
No.
It's a game changer.
No.
It's a game
No.
changer.
No.
Magic Cylinders is one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh. Hands down. That, Sakuretsu Armor, Dimensional Prison, my guys, these are top tier. Smashing Ground? Bro, Smashing Ground is just evenly matched. Smashing Ground is just evenly matched.
It's not a better fissure, it's evenly
matched.
matched.
No, Smashing Ground is evenly matched.
Okay.
It's a non-targeting removal card. Evenly matched is a non-targeting removal card. They're the same thing.
I don't know, man. I think evenly matched is better.
How many evenly matches can you activate in theory in one game, in one turn?
In one turn? 2, 3?
No, 1.
No.
After you resolve it, 1.
Okay.
How many smashing grounds you can activate in one turn? All 3.
All 3?
All 3.
Okay, but a smashing ground doesn't leave a token on your opponent's field and banish everything else face down. So.
I'm sorry. When are you putting tokens on their field when you evenly match them?
I'm putting a token on their field so I can guarantee every other card's gonna come.
Oh, okay. So you just that guy.
Yeah, I'm just that guy.
You can bind in your evenly matched with like Ojama tokens or something. All right, whatever. Oh,
somebody
man.
said TJ did not see you clap a punk with Magic Cylinder loud. You did what? You did what? No. We can.
They saw your profile, dog. All I know is the person that I played, they saw your profile. That's all I know. That's all I know, dog.
Oh my god.
He attacked into the Magic Cylinder.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
If you could make any rogue deck meta, what would you pick?
That's rough. For me, Plunder. I'm picking Plunder.
Okay, so I would make Draco Slayer.
I can see that. You just want to activate Necro.
No, I'm not playing Draco Slayer. I'm making Draco Slayer meta relevant so I can play my deck that will be even more relevant.
With a Necro Valley in it. Exactly. Necro Valley Turbo.
Gravekeeper meta!
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah, what is your favorite rogue deck? Oh, no. Okay, we already answered that.
Yeah.
So what Yu-Gi-Oh card or anime character is best waifu?
Shizu.
So, again, we're gonna go here. I'm Cardi B, all right? We got Sword Soul Iris, right?
Yeah.
But we also got Labyrinth Mommy Milkers, right? But we still got more cards. We're not done here, right? We still
got more.
I ain't got no type.
All right.
Think I saved the Cali Effects life. Yes. I'm a booby man. I'm a booty man.
Somebody said Alexis Rhodes, and you, sir, are an interesting person.
Bro, yeah, that's weird. I always pictured her as like 12. But hey, I mean, that's you. You know, I can't judge you, dog. I'm at least 50 miles away from you.
At least.
At least 50 miles away.
At least. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm still sticking with a Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
She got some mommy milkers.
I think all the other questions are retakes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Questions that we could probably answer on another
There's
stream.
one that I did want to ask. It is, do you like or hate the time rules? And if so, what would you change to fix it?
I made a whole video on this.
I understand, but
I'm not
here in
answering this question again.
we're in this setting on
I'll
my
answer this
channel
question in another podcast. I made a whole video on this.
All
I
right.
made an entire video. No, who asked that? I'm banning him right now.
It would be my boy, Just a Normal.
Now, I would answer it for you,
Okay.
but that's a whole different podcast. Like we're already at the end of our podcast.
Okay.
Would you
know
rather
what?
me answer it right now, or would you rather wait to another podcast where we can actually get an answer?
I'll make that a bigger topic for another podcast.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's your video. What am I doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if chat has any quick questions, anything just personally about us, maybe, because we did a whole rap conversation to begin with, so I don't know if it's really going
Chief
in the video.
Keef's the best rapper.
Chief.
Chief Keef. Hey, he made that one song. I'm the head of the motherfucking state.
I can't.
I brought you change.
can't.
What the fuck you think? He didn't make that song, did he?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Obama remixed that. That's what I'm thinking.
Obama
The
remixed
Obama
that.
remix.
Oh man. Alright. Well, with that being said, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it here. This podcast was really fun. I'm excited for next episode because we are making another episode. Definitely. You know.
Well, what was the name of the podcast?
Oh yes. I will go ahead and tell you guys here. Probably should have been in the beginning, but we're gonna call the podcast the Extra Deckers because we just some extra deck perps.
What was the extra deck?
The
Why you gotta put
extra
the
deckers.
ER in there?
Well, they the extra deckers.
TJ, you cannot be adding ER to every word. You go get in trouble.
You gonna cancel me?
Exactly.
Stop trying to cancel me.
Bro, I'm trying to help you out. Stop
I
adding
just want
ER.
the hard R's. Okay, that sounds really good. I don't want no hard R's. I don't want no hard R's.
I'm just saying, TJ, you can't add ER to every word. It's not gonna work out.
You're not wrong. But yes, it is called the Extra Deck, and you know, from there on forth, I think that's what we're gonna call it.
All right, guys, y'all be safe.
Have a good one.
All right, I'll get that file to you.
Yeah, you can just